All right. Well, hello, my EchoCaster friends. Welcome to another episode of Echo Craft doing crazy stuff on the internet. I don't know, man. All right. So, how's it going? I hope everything's going well for y'all. I know that I am having a marvelous day. And yeah, so anyway, Mr. Samurai, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. How are you, sir? So, Samurai and I were talking earlier today, and he asked me if I was going live or if I was going to do anything today. And I said, possibly. You know, I always do. I didn't know what I was going to do, actually. So, he said, why don't you do a battle of the synths? Because all I've been talking about is polysynths. And so basically that's what I'm doing. I'm going to talk about polysynths today. And there are 4 of them up on the screen. One of them, which I own. And Hans Volt, Uncle Jerry are in the house. What's up, guys? I cooked up a little thing here, and Hans Volt's going to yell at me because I think that the PolyBrute 12 is thin. That's just me. And I know I've been talking about this for a couple of days now, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've watched so many freaking videos on this synthesizer. I just can't wrap my head around it, man. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. It sounds amazing. But then when I listen to the Muse, again, like I've been saying, I just go, wow. Yeah. And then I listen to the Jupiter X, and I just sit there and I go, wow. Yeah. And then I listen to the Hydrasynth, which I own, and I go, holy moly. It's funny. What are you saying? Was that blasphemy? No, I just can't wrap my head around it, man. I like it. It sounds great. But it's not for me. And I said this in my synth car video the other day. What's up, Seth? I kind of sit there and I just say it's just thin. I was getting some great sounds out of my Hydra. And I just, Hans Volt says, "Now I'm with you, man." All right, cool. It's just so weird. Like Viral Beats, what's going on, dude? I just try to sit there and go, what the hell is happening? Like, why does this synthesizer not want me to buy it? So what I did was, Eternian, how you doing, man? What I did was I just sat there and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch a couple more videos. And so one of the videos that I watched, and the reason why I'm going to play some of this for you guys right now is because I like the way, this is Sanjay C. I don't know if you guys have watched any of his videos. Synth Samurai says, keep in mind there are no PB12s in the wild yet. That is true. We talked about that this morning, you and I. Only Synth Mafia have them, whereas many muses are in the wild. That is true. And I totally agree with that. I haven't seen anybody really. Yo, what's up, Synth Punk? Hey, James. Yeah, man, there's just a few things that I just sit there and I go, what's going on with the PolyBrute, So what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to switch to my different screens here, and I'm going to play a Sanjay C video where he compares both the PolyBrute and the Muse. And I like the way he does things. I like this guy. He's kind of cool. But But let's check this out right now. Hang on.
Two incredible analog polyphonic synths recently released. In this video, I'll explore the features and sounds side by side. We'll compare the sound of the oscillators, filters, and all the special features that make them so unique. Which one is on your must-have list? A few things to cover right away. There is a difference in price. The Moog Muse is $3,499 and the Arturia PolyBrute 12 is $3,999. And one of the main reasons for the difference in price is the number of voices. The that uses the very top of a key down to the deepest press and everything in between. But it actually feels comfortable to play. There's also a aftertouch. Nothing extremely. Arturia gives you lots of ways to do so, including the full touch MPE keyboard, the morph knob, and
now I just want to say one thing.
I'm just gonna 12 controls the transition of sounds.
I'm not gonna show you the whole video. I'm kind of bouncing around because I want to.
You can do it with the Morph pad or this morph knob.
He's gonna do something right now. I'm gonna show you.
And it's easy to assign what you're morphing to. So you start with a sound in the A position, turn the knob all the way to the right, make any adjustments you want. Let's add some delay, maybe some reverb. And now you have your B position. And now the knob allows you to adjust between those two sounds. And you can use the pad to slide between the positions as well. Now the ribbon right here feels awesome, and some of you may not even realize it was there by just glancing at the PolyBrute. The ribbon does.
All right, so I'm just going to stop it there, and then I'm going to go. And you know, I'm not just saying that this was the only video I watched about how this thing sounded. And yeah, it's got some great features. I like the expressibility of it, blah, blah, blah. All right. The Machines One, what's going on, man? How you doing? I don't know, man. It's not doing it for me. I'm going to fast forward a little bit and we're going to go right here. And here we go. So I'm going to pop this in again.
All right, here's more on the oscillators on the PolyBrute 12. So you've got basic waveforms from two oscillators here. So you can go from sawtooth to triangle. And also square wave. Metalizer will add some harmonics to the triangle wave. And adjusting the pulse width will adjust the width of the square wave. Now let's turn up the second oscillator. We've got similar waveforms here as well.
Okay. So, as you can tell, I don't know, maybe it's me. Synthpunk says the PB has the sizzle. I'm not hearing sizzle, bro. I'm hearing meh. That's what I'm hearing. I just don't understand. Like I just don't get it.
On the Moog 904A from the 1960s. It's the same as the Model D. You can switch the first filter from low pass to high pass. The second is a dedicated low pass filter. You can get the classic Moog sounds with this filter.
All right, now listen. What I'm hearing, and this is just very basic stuff he's doing. He's not playing big pads or anything like that. What I am hearing is the warmth of the Moog. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to my next video here, and this is Dr. Mix. Okay, playing the Jupiter X.
Oh, hi, and welcome. Different filters here. Or a good system if you're lucky enough to have one, because the low end.
Now,
on
listen
this
to the
thing
low end
is
on this.
Stupid. Okay, got different filters here. Okay, alrighty. Let's go to the next sound. How do I do this? I don't even know. Oh wait, unison.
So here's my thing. It sounds digital, but it sounds analog. I don't know. Hans Volt says take off the effects. Why? All right, so Synth Punk says yes, it's the Swiss Army knife of synthesizers. Okay, that's fine, because it is a workhorse and it has beats in it and all that stuff. I just think that, you know, the Jupiter X, I think it sounds better than the PB12. You guys are gonna hate me, man. That's just me. You know, you guys are talking about the Korg accordion. I saw that. You know, I remember when they first came out with that thing. Or was it Roland that came out with it at first? I forget. I don't know. My brother-in-law used to play accordion and keyboards. Accordion's a cool instrument. But it's just not for me. Okay. But anyway, I'm just reading some of the comments here. It's more John Pietro Neiman. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, bro. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, Hans Volt, I know you use real knives. So does Samurai. I don't know, man. I kind of think that I don't know. I just think that the Moog Muse sounds really good. And I have another one here. And this is Dr. Mix again, who I really like his videos. This is him playing the Hydra. So let's listen to that. And this is this is a few years ago. This is 4 years ago, man. All right. So let's switch to that.
This video is kind of I could do like a streaming where I just do this. This is crazy, man. This is completely crazy.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but this thing sounds like an analog synth.
What? I only have one word. Respect. Wow. Yeah, click on that link in the description.
Okay. So, I could play a whole bunch of other videos. I could play a ton of videos on the Muse and a ton of videos on the PolyBrute 12 and blah, 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 blah. Why are you silencing Jim Danker? Danker did the best Jupiter X demo. Did I? I didn't. Who's saying that? Synth punk? What? I didn't. No, I didn't even show that video. Are you guys just yelling at each other again? I don't know. Dr. Mix is a shill. I don't think Dr. Mix is a shill. I think Dr. Mix is a very talented musician, and he makes a lot of money doing all kinds of stuff. He does video game music. He does music for motion pictures. Dr. Mix does a lot of gigging out. He plays a lot of cover bands. I think he's a pretty talented guy. That's just all I got to say about that. I'm not going to get into who's a shill and who isn't. And I love all you guys. Show it. What am I showing? What do you want to see? Listen, I just know that the Hydrasynth, since I bought it, and I was skeptical. And you know, I showed Synth Punk and Samurai have a little chat every once in a while, and I sent them a bunch of videos that when I was at NAMM in 2019 and 2020, and I saw the Hydrasynth firsthand, and I saw, you know, I was at Sonic Ware's booth when they first came out with their first synth, and you know, I was a little poo-poo on the Hydra, you know, and even when I got it, I was like, okay, this thing sounds good, it's cool. The patches that I was hearing were very thin. And then I started diving deep into it, and then I started messing with it. And I got to tell you, it sounds pretty warm to me for a digital synthesizer. Yeah, man, I'm just like, Dan Kier, is that who you're talking about, Synthpunk? Let me see if I can pull that up here. Hold on a sec. See, I just think it sounds good. I think eventually, and I'm going to say this, I swear I would never buy a synthesizer over $2,000, but I am looking at the Moog Muse. It takes me away. I listen to it, and I just think that it just sounds really good. And I'm calling up the Jupiter video that Synthpunk is talking about. Hang on. Let's see. And, you know, I just think that it sounds good, and no, that's not the video. Sorry, guys. And, you know, it's what I'm looking for. You know, it really is. It's what I'm looking for in a synthesizer. And, you know, I had Moog stuff, like I said, in the past. And I thought it was really cool, but I also had a lot of problems with it, you know? All right, here we go.
So, the Jupiter X, is it just a VST in a box? Let's explore that contentious topic after a brief intro done entirely on the Jupiter X and see if that claim has any merit. Stay tuned. I think I probably VST in a box to start out, and then I'm just going to walk you through a handful of sounds I've created.
You know, the button layout of this reminds me of the Muse. It's just so weird. Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched this video in full, so thank you for turning me on to this. But yeah. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is the full sounds that I'm talking about. I can't I'm not hearing this from the PB12. I'm not, you know, I don't know what it is, you know, it was a Phantom X added it. I mean, the Phantom is cool. The thing that bothers me about the Phantom is that to me, it's just a gigantic workstation. And I know the Jupiter X is close to that, but this to me is more of a polysynth. I played a Phantom at Guitar Center. It's awesome. You know, the touch screen, all that stuff is great. Yes, Sam, Synthpunk says you have a Matrix Brute. Yes, I do have a Matrix Brute. I love my Matrix Brute. It's a lot of fun to play. It does a lot of interesting things, and it's very enjoyable. But I'm just telling you, I for polysynths, the Jupiter X and the Muse, those are the ones that I'm looking at. I don't, I already have like I said, I already have the Hydra, and I like it, and it sounds amazing, and I've gotten some really nice warm sounds out of it. You don't like the PB12 because you own a Matrix Brute. Well, no, I mean, you can't really say that, man, because I like the PolyBrute 6 when it came out. I thought it sounded great. I know this is just it's double, it's two Brute 6s in one unit. But there's something about it that I'm just not liking. And you can't really compare the Matrix Brute to that because it's duophonic. I get chords out of it and stuff, but not like the Muse and the Jupiter X. You know what I mean? Like I'm not seeing that with the PolyBrute 12. And if Arturia wants to send me one, great, so I can check it out. But there's no place around here that has one. I want to play it. I want to check it out. But the videos that I'm seeing, it just doesn't cut the mustard for me. I even watched Nick Batt's Sonic State video, and it just didn't do anything for me. I don't know why. Synthpunk says the Matrix Brute and the PolyBrute are the same engines. Okay, that's fine. I had a Scion XB, and it's the same engine as the Camry, but they were two different vehicles. Just saying. So I mean, I just think that, I know Synthpunk likes the PolyBrute 12. I don't like it. I'm not getting that wow feeling. When I listen to the Moog Muse, I sit there and I go, that's a Moog. I wasn't even looking for that, but that's the sound that I really think that sounds amazing to me. And I think the Jupiter, I'm going to finish watching the Jupiter X video by this guy, Jim Dainker. I think that's how you say his name. I haven't seen this video, but I'm going to watch it. Do you still love the UBXA Echo? Yeah, I think the UBXA is an awesome synthesizer. But there's just something about that too that kind of leaves me flat. I think they're all awesome. I mean, you know what? If I could have them all, like Synth Samurai says, I would totally buy them all. But I would probably, if I was going to get the UBXA, I would probably get the desktop version. I don't know why. That's just where I'm at. I just canceled your Cream Dream t-shirts. Synthpunk says that the Moog Muse is a scam. I don't know, bro. Moog Muse, smoke and mirrors. But get a real 16 voice VCO. Moog. Is that why they called it the mirror? Wasn't it called the mirror at first, or I don't know. Anyway, I just think that the Muse sounds warm, Victor Koftron, go watch his video. It's you know, he did the whole Blade Runner kind of patch, and it sounds amazing. Go watch Marshall Arnold's video on the Moog Muse. It sounds amazing, and Marshall knows his shit about synths too. You know, I have the Moog Muse, Hydrasynth Deluxe, Novation Summit, Roland Juno X, Jupiter X, Phantom 8, and the DeepMind 12. They are all excellent synthesizers. Enjoy to work with them. And that's from Tech M3X. And wow, that's quite the collection, bro. That's, do you have a YouTube channel? I'd love to check out some of your stuff. That'd be awesome. You know, Synth Punk is bent on the smoke and mirrors. Okay. Then we'll have a Prologue Jupiter X. So yeah, well, that's another thing. So the Prologue, let's talk about that one for a second. When Korg came out with that, everybody poo-pooed that because it was, you know, I have the mini log when it first came out, and then they came out with the Prologue, and you know, everybody's like, oh, it's just, you know, it's a bigger version of the mini log. Well, yeah, it is, but it had a lot more to it. I believe you're able to load different stuff into it. I forget what it is. But anyway, that was a great sounding synthesizer. Again, that's one that I never got a chance to play. Nobody's ever had one around here. Not even the store in Boston, the Guitar Center in Boston. I own the 08 voice Prologue, unfortunately. Oh, but you don't like it, I take it. Yeah, 16 voices, nowhere. Sorry, hidden gem. Hard to get them now. So is it something that you don't like, Jan? Is that, am I saying your name right? Is that, you don't like the Prologue? Prologue, I don't know, however you say it. You did like it. Okay. He wishes that it had 16 voices. I mean, you know, 16 voices, 8 voices, you know, I'm a drummer and I play keyboards. I guess, you know, playing, you know, having be able to play, you know, chords, you know, 8 notes at a time. I don't do that. You know, I have a bass hand and I have a lead hand, and that's about how I play. So, I mean, you know, I have a little bit of piano background because piano is a percussive instrument, but I'm not considered a piano player. But you know, I play guitar as well. I'm a rhythm guitarist. I'm not a lead guitarist. So, I mean, you know, I just basically you know, that's the way I play keyboards and piano. So I'm not, you know, I don't need, I mean, I love the DeepMind 12. It's one of my favorite synthesizers because of its sound, and, you know, but I'm not playing 12 notes at a time. You know, I have the 16 voice Rev 2, you know, I mean, it's nice to have all those voices, I guess, but I get a kick. I play with the mini log, and it's what, five voices, 4 voices. I mean, you know, it does the job. I haven't tinkered with that in a while. It's a cool little synthesizer. Your main axe, though, is the Yamaha CP88. Oh, the piano. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the stuff, guys. You guys are going really fast here. No, Vince Clarke, phenomenal keyboard player. Yeah, he wasn't Mozart by any means, but yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing, you know, and I love classical music. I've listened, I grew up with classical music. I love Mozart. I love Haydn, I guess that's how you say it. I'm horrible with names. I love Beethoven stuff. You know, I listened to Debussy. You know, I used to go to this Franciscan friary that used to be up the street from where I lived, and they had a huge music library. And I used to go in there, and I knew one of the friars. His name was Father Roland. He passed away. He was a super nice guy. And I used to go in there, and they had a huge library, and they actually had vinyl for each book, for each composer. And I would go in and I would put the vinyl on a turntable, and I would listen to what I was reading about. So I learned a lot about classical music that way. Plus, I was brought up, that way. My sister would rather me play classical music than rock and heavy metal, which those are my roots: rock, blues, and heavy metal. And that was the thing with me. I still love classical music to this day. I love all music. I listen to country western sometimes. I love some country music. Other people go, oh, you like country music? Whatever. I like country. I like all kinds of music. When I was a metalhead back in the 80s, I would listen to some disco stuff. The long hairs we all had long hair, but if you said you listened to disco, you were a you-know-what. And you know what, man? You go to the disco clubs, that's where the girls were. Just saying. So anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I think out of all the synthesizers, and I put up all these 4 because, like I said, I own one of them. But I really do believe that the PB12 is off my gas list, is off my radar. Not a fan. So, I mean, that's basically where I'm at. I've listened to all kinds of music. And what I love about music is that it transcends you somewhere else, and it's the universal language. And I just wish that the whole world would stop bitching, complaining, and moaning, and and find some type of back in the 80s, we had stupid stuff like We Are the World and things like that. But you know what? It brought us together. It was music. And back then it was music. The stuff that I hear that kids listen to today, and I sound like an old man because I am an old man, but I just sit there and shake my head, with some of the rap music that's out there and the trap, and, and pardon my language. And this channel's not made for kids, but how many songs can we write about pussy and sex, and come on, and all that crap, we wrote songs about love and sex and things, but it was, it was done in a respectful manner, I guess you'd say. Although I listen to some Motown stuff, and I listen to stuff like Get Down on It. I know what you're getting down on it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like the stuff that, Wet Ass Pussy. That's a great song, isn't it? I wonder how long it took her to write the lyrics to that song. What a sham. Anyway, I just thought that I would come on today and talk a little bit about the stuff that I've been investigating and looking into, and I just think that the PB12 is gone for me, done, unless I play one. But right now, I'm out. The Muse and the Jupiter X. That's where I'm at. Part of me wants to lean towards the Jupiter X because it is digital, and I don't have to worry about things burning out and blowing out, even though digital synths have a lot of problems too sometimes. It is rolling. It's stable. But then there's the Muse that's going to give me that analog warmth and that distorted sound that I was hearing from some of the patches that people were playing was just great. It just sounded great to me. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day, gentlemen and ladies, if there are any in the chat. And I just want to say, thank you so much for joining in and participating. And you guys are great. And I love the synth community. I got nothing else. Stay tuned for next week is going to be the Synth Samurai and I. We do our weekly show on the Synth Samurai's channel called Synth Fighter. And it's every Wednesday night at 8:30, every other Wednesday night at 8:30, sorry. I am going to just, do a typical EchoCraft move here. And I'm just going to bring in rid of this guy. Bring over here. This is my my channel. I can't even talk. What the hell is wrong with me? This is my website where you can order all kinds of shirts. Just go to echocraft.com and you can download some of the cool stuff that I've created. And as you can see, I do have a shirt here called SynthNet, kind of like Skynet. I've got a Behringer Bros embroidered shirt. I've got Synth Mafia shirts. I've got Forgive Me Father for I Have Synth, which I'm wearing one of the originals right now. And this one I think is much better, much cooler looking. I've got EchoCraft's Frequency Hunter, which that's the new album that I'm working on. Will be coming out soon. But yeah, check it out. Prices are pretty decent. I didn't do anything terrible as far as pricing goes. I did bring some of the prices up because some of them I wasn't really doing very well on. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I always say, stay frosty, stay creative. Peace out, guys.